Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the MU Stand. This is your preview for Real Betis versus Manchester United. It's a big one, guys. This is a big one. Real Betis, of course, will attempt to do the impossible and overturn a 3-goal deficit against Manchester United in this Europa League last 16 tie. The Red Devils head into Spain in a very comfortable position after a fine second half display at Old Trafford, putting us within touching distance of a spot in the quarterfinals. Only once such an advantage has been overturned in the Europa League knockout, although perhaps Real Betis probably can take some hopes from a couple of shaky domestic displays from our team. So this is going to be interesting. This game definitely is going to be interesting. In this show, of course, we are going to cover the team news, predicting starting 11, the current form, head-to-head, and score prediction at the end. So be sure to stick around and get involved by letting us know who should be in the starting 11 and give us your team and what you think will be in the starting 11. But yes, okay, so let's get into the team news. Okay, so before we get into the team news, if you're enjoying these previews, make sure you smash a like on the stream, subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Okay, let's go. Okay, so team news is here. This is troubling. I mean, this is really troubling. But let me just start off with Garnacho here. So Manchester United are set to be without the winger Alejandro Garnacho ahead of the Europa League round of 16, second leg against Real Betis in Spain. So he will not be fit. Anthony Martial is another one, and Marcel Sabitzer are also injured. Doubts for the trip to Seville. Erik ten Hag obviously would be hoping to have Victor Lindelof available again after some illness. You're looking at our list. Our list is getting bigger. It's just getting bigger. Martial has been training with the rest of the group, but ten Hag is being very cautious about him returning. I think he's taking it very slowly before he just puts him into the team. The Frenchmen, of course, have a hip problem that has kept him out since the beginning of February. So that's a long time. It's a long time for Martial to be out. We missed him so much. Sabitzer, meanwhile, has been missing out on the first leg. He did miss the first leg, and also he missed a draw against Southampton. The extent of the Australian loanee's problem is yet to be clear. I don't know why Erik ten Hag is really not talking about Sabitzer and what's going on. When is he going to return? What's the problem? He's not trying to let us know, but hopefully he does have a press conference on Wednesday. So hopefully he tells us what's going on with Sabitzer, because he's needed. He's needed in the middle of the park. A lot of games that we are playing. Okay, so the good news for Manchester United fans and us is really Casemiro can play this game. Casemiro is suspended for match suspension in the domestic game, so that is a big blow. But the good news is he will obviously be available for the game against Real Betis. Of course, there is still another problem with that because he's yet another yellow card away from one match European suspension. That means if he gets a yellow card in that game against Real Betis, we're gonna miss him in the quarterfinals if we advance to the quarterfinals. So, look, it's not looking good for Casemiro. It is not looking good for Casemiro. The other player we have is Bruno Fernandes. He's the only other player that will be one cautious away from getting suspended. So Bruno is another one that if he gets a yellow card, he will be missing the game in the quarterfinals. Okay, so let's just quickly move on to the Real Betis team news, and then we're going to take a look at the starting 11. They don't have a lot of injuries. They do not have a lot of injuries compared to us. But Manuel Pellegrini looks set to be without centre-back Luis Felipe for Thursday night's game. Obviously, Nabil Fekir, their main guy, is out for the season. The fellow midfielder playmaker Sergio Canales has started the game since he started the game in the weekend. Also, he played that game against Villarreal and the 1-1 draw. Other than that, they don't really have much missing. These are like the three players. Juan Cruz is unknown. Maybe he could return in the game, but these are the team news really that Real Betis are missing. Okay, so let's take a look at the lineup really quickly here. So team news is covered. Here is the lineup. This is the lineup that has actually started the game against Real Betis in that first leg, and we did manage to win that game 4-1. We're going to make a few tweaks into this lineup. I don't think it needs much change, but I do believe that we're going to make a few changes in this lineup. David De Gea, I guess, obviously David De Gea will stay in goal. Dalot, I think he should be subbed out. I think we need to put Wan-Bissaka in because Wan-Bissaka is strong defensively. We know Wan-Bissaka is strong defensively, and we don't need to score away from home, really. We have 3-goal cushion, so I do expect us to be more conservative. So for that reason, I think Wan-Bissaka should play. So Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Martinez, and Shaw. I don't want to mess around with the center backs because anything can happen in Europe when you play away from home. The likes of if you start putting in the likes of Maguire and Lindelof, you might concede a couple of goals, and all of a sudden you find yourself in a lot of trouble. So I don't think we should gamble with our center backs. I think our center backs should stay the same. So the back four will stay the same, in my opinion, and should stay the same. In the middle of the park, we do have Casemiro and Fred there. I don't think we need to change that. Casemiro, like I mentioned earlier, is going to be suspended for 4 games in domestic cup. So you might as well give him minutes in the Europa League. Here's another chance for him. But again, he needs to be cautious. He needs to be careful not to get sent off not to get a booking because you missed that second leg. Next to him, who else? Fred. I think instead of Scott McTominay, I prefer Fred. I think Fred and Casemiro, they complement each other. I really, really do. They complement each other. So for that reason, I would definitely go with Casemiro and Fred in the middle of the park. The front four. Okay, so there's the question here. I mean, we do have players. Look, we do have players like Fred, Harry Maguire, Scott McTominay, Facundo Pelci. They will all be eager to start this match. I'm pretty sure they are eager to start this match. Haven't been actually involved in that Sunday's game from off the bench. So for sure, they're going to be looking to start these games. But I don't think Erik ten Hag likes to make a whole lot of changes in his team. He doesn't do that often. A lot of times, if you see the teams, there are a few changes in the lineup. He doesn't make a lot of changes in the lineup. So that's why I'm sticking with pretty much similar lineups here. Antony on the right, of course, you could debate that. You could definitely debate that because Pelci have shown us some good stuff since coming on from the bench. In a couple of games, he was bright, taking on players, which Antony is not doing at the moment. But I do expect Antony to stay there. Facundo Pelci obviously won't be starting this game, but he is definitely going to be used from off the bench. So Antony will stay as a right wing position. Bruno, okay, so this is the thing I have. So Bruno, I felt like we should take out Bruno and put Sancho in. I do believe that Erik ten Hag did use Sancho as a number 10. He did use Sancho as a number 10 against Southampton. So for sure, in this game, we could do the same. We could definitely do the same. Put Sancho in. Like I mentioned earlier, Bruno's one booking away from missing the quarterfinals if we advance. Most likely, I do believe we're going to advance, but we don't want to be missing Bruno in the quarterfinals. At the same time, we're going to need Bruno to be 100% against Fulham in the quarterfinals in the weekend. FA Cup. So for sure, this is the game for him to be rested, especially he's one booking away as well. So for that reason, I'm putting Sancho as a number 10, which Erik ten Hag did experiment in the weekend. So I think we could gamble that with the goal cushion we have. We have 3 goal cushion. I do believe we could gamble with that. And so Sancho would definitely be as a number 10. Marcus Rashford will continue playing on the left, and Weghorst will start up front. So that is it, guys. I mean, this is the team news. I think we'll start against Real Betis. But the only concern I have is that why is it Erik ten Hag doesn't even give a rest for Weghorst? It's crazy. Like, this guy has been starting games every match. I mean, ever since he came in, I don't think he missed any games. He's been starting games every single week. Sometimes as a 10, as a number 10, sometimes as a number 9, but he's always playing. So I think he could be rotated. We might see, we might definitely see this. Weghorst being rested and Rashford through the middle and Pelstri on the side. This could definitely happen, people. Like, it is possible that Erik ten Hag could go with this lineup, and I'll be okay with this lineup for sure. I would love to see Pelstri starting games, but I don't predict that it's going to happen in this match. This is a huge match for him. I don't think it's going to happen in this match, but I do think Pelstri should be given more minutes based on what we've seen. It's just a little cameo we saw against, I believe, it's not Southampton, the game before that, but he was right. Immediately he got in and created a chance. I think it was against Real Betis. So hopefully Pelstri gets a lot of minutes so he can play. But in this match, I do expect Rashford here and Weghorst as a number 10. So there you have it, people. This is the lineup I think is going to play against Real Betis. So let's take a look at the head-to-head and teams form as well before I give you guys my prediction. Okay, so let's just quickly take a look at that. So teams form. Okay, so teams form. Real Betis drew 2 games, lost 1 game. They only won twice out of 5 matches. So the past 5 games, 2 draws, 2 wins, and 1 loss for Real Betis. Manchester United, we've won 3 games, lost 1, and drawn 1. So our form seems to be very similar in terms of coming into this game. Our form is very similar. Head-to-head. So the head-to-head is another one. So head-to-head, we've won the first leg 4-1. We know that. But the friendly match, we did lose at Betis. I believe it's Fekir who actually scored in that match. But that was a friendly. That was not a serious game. That was not a very competitive game. It's a friendly match. But they did win. Even if they win this game, I think we're going to advance. We still have a 3-goal cushion. That means they need to beat us by 4 goals. Really. To advance. So they need to win the game 4-0. I don't see that happening. Or 4-1 to take it to extra time. So, or 3-0 to take it to extra time. So I don't see that. I really, really don't see that. But yeah, this is the head-to-head top scores. So for each team, the top scores are, we know, Marcus Rashford, the man in form. He is hot. 5 goals for Manchester United in the Europa League and 1 assist out of 7 games. That is a good stat for Marcus Rashford. Henrique is their top scorer, 2 goals and 2 assists. Really, we're not going to be worried about that guy, really, to be honest with you. But okay, so let me just quickly give you guys my prediction, what I think is going to happen in this match. And you guys can let me know in the comment section what you think is going to happen in this game, who you think is going to win, and also, do you like the lineup we have picked? let me actually put up the lineup here. Okay, so yeah. So just as a review, this is the lineup which I think should play against Real Betis. David De Gea in goal, Wan-Bissaka on the right, Luke Shaw on the left, Lisandro Martinez and Varane as the center backs. The two midfielders will be Fred and Casemiro. The front four, Rashford on the left, Anthony on the right. Sancho as a number 10, and Weghorst up front. So, yeah, that is the lineup. So, dude, let me know if you actually disagree with these lineups. And who would you change? Who would you replace in this lineup? Dude, let me know in the comments section. Okay, so prediction time. Prediction time. I'm going to go for this match. I'm going to go Real Betis 2, Manchester United 2. I feel like this game is going to be a draw with a comfortable 3-goal cushion to protect. There's no reason to go to Betis gun-ho on the night. We really don't need to do that. Expect a much more low-key second half or second leg performance from Manchester United because we don't need to risk a lot. Our injury list is a concern, and Erik ten Hag will definitely avoid taking many risks on Spanish soil. So I do believe that we're gonna be more conservative. The game's gonna be tighter, closer. It's not gonna be end to end. That is my prediction for that match. And of course, Real Betis could take some courage. Southampton did not score at Old Trafford. I mean, given that performance, given that match, what you saw in that match, we definitely have some gaps in our defense, especially for the past few games. It's been visible. It's been visible for everyone to see. So Real Betis, I mean, should come with some confidence, but I don't think they're going to score. Like I said, I don't think they're going to score 3 or 4. And I still have faith in Manchester United to come away at least with a draw and book our spot in the final 8. But yeah, that's what I think is going to happen in this match. But dude, let me know what you guys think about this game. Are we actually going to win this game? Or is it going to be a draw? Is it going to be a loss? Even with a loss, like I said, even with a loss, I do expect us to advance. I don't think it's going to be a smash. Before I wrap up here, so there are some news, updated news here on transfer. So let's just quickly cover that before we finish here. Okay, so Fabrizio just talked about this. So Wan-Bissaka is more likely to stay, obviously, because of his performances. And he does believe that Manchester United are not looking for a right back. This is according to Fabrizio Romano. So he's thinking that our aim now is on another position. It's not going to be on Wan-Bissaka. So if that is the case, I'm okay with it. I mean, I don't think our priority should be the right back position. I do not think the right back position should be our priority. We do have a striker position that needs to be covered. That's the main one. That's my biggest concern, and that's the one that I'm looking forward to. That Manchester United do invest in that position. Gonzalo Ramos has been linked with Manchester United. This is, by the way, all on Twitter. So if you're not following us on Twitter, make sure you follow us on Twitter. Up-to-date news. So Gonzalo Ramos has a release clause of 120 million. So are we actually going to pay that to get this guy? He is, I mean, if we're talking about buying strikers, it's going to be between Gonzalo Ramos, OSIMHEN, and Harry Kane are in the discussion at this moment in time. The three strikers on the market at this moment in time. Which one we should go for? I think I like OSIMHEN, but it also depends on how much the board is willing to spend. That's another question that needs to be handled. But I do like Gonzalo Ramos. He's very good, and I do believe that if we can get him, obviously it's gonna be a very, very good signing. This is just coming in today from Football Insiders. They're saying Manchester United are set to make Denzel Dumfries transfer pursuit again this summer. Erik ten Hag is targeting the right back from Inter Milan. I don't know if this is true, to be honest with you. Like I said, I talked about Wan-Bissaka, and I don't think this is going to happen. If he comes in cheap, probably is going to happen, but I don't see us like spending over 40, 50 mil for a right back at this moment in time. I don't think that is needed, and I don't think we are going to do that. But yeah, these are the transfer news. Other news, of course, OSIMHEN are definitely, a lot of clubs are interested. It's not just Manchester United, Man City, Chelsea, PSG are all in the conversation to sign OSIMHEN. So the OSIMHEN signature is going to be tough. It's going to be a tough one. Very, very tough to make that happen. The only concern we have is, of course, goalkeeper position. And I don't think Fabrizio is actually concerned. Ten Hag is concerned about goalkeeper position, but there is still talks between Diego Costa, David Raya. These two goalkeepers are the main ones that we're looking at. But these two probably are not going to come, like Fabrizio mentioned, if they're not guaranteed regular games. And with David De Gea and a huge contract, and that guy's obviously is going to be on number one. I don't see these two coming to compete with David De Gea. And they want some guarantee. And look, if you are a player, you want some guarantee before you show up. It just shows what kind of player you are. You're not willing to compete. You need to be ready to compete and convince the manager and make yourself a number one. I don't understand this nonsense. Like, I want to be guaranteed as a starting role before I join. Like, what? It's not going to happen. It's not going to be handed to you. It's not like these two goalkeepers have been magnificent or have won trophies in the past. They really are like a normal goalkeeper. So I just don't understand this nonsense. Christopher says OSIMHEN is on form. Yeah, so OSIMHEN is on form for sure. He's on form, but we're looking at the price tag here. How much is he going to cost us, and how much is the board willing to spend? If you ask me, my number one choice would be OSIMHEN. Let's just quickly take a look at the poll here. So we've had 22 votes here, so it looks like 68%. So 68% of you are saying OSIMHEN should be the one we should go for instead of Kane. So Kane, the problem with Kane is Kane is a very good striker, believe it or not. He's a wonderful striker, and he's gonna fit in our team like this, but his age is the concern. His age is a concern, and every season Kane has been getting some sort of injuries. So the older you get, that is the concern. Any sort of injuries it's gonna take you longer even to heal because if you're older. So I do think that Harry Kane is a good option, but one, I don't think Tottenham will sell him. I don't think they will let him go. Two, he's going to be close to 100 M's for Harry Kane, which I think is ridiculous because of his age and everything else. But if you're buying OSIMHEN, if you're buying Gonzalo Ramos, you're looking at 10 years ahead, 10 years or 5 to 10 years ahead. They're going to have a resale value. They're going to give you longevity in the team as well. So for sure, I'll definitely go with OSIMHEN as the number one choice. Number two choice is going to be Gonzalo Ramos for me. And number three, I'll go with Harry Kane. But we must absolutely not go into the season without signing one of these players. That is a fact. That is a fact. There is no way we're going to go into a season without a striker. Relying on Weghorst next season, please. I don't want to see that. I really, really don't want to see that. Okay, guys, if you don't have any more questions, we're going to wrap it up here, guys. We are going to wrap it up. Like I said, make sure you give me your predictions. Do you like this lineup? You agree with this lineup? Do you agree with Bruno being on the bench as well? Being given on some rest for the weekend match? Also, defensively, would you make changes in the lineup? Hey, Maguire is a contender to go in that defense, probably, since we have a 3-goal lead. Lindelof is another one, could be used as well. But look, I'm going with the strong 11. We need to make sure we get ourselves in the quarterfinals. I've seen that movie before where teams are leading by 2 or 3 goals going into the second leg and just collapsing in the second leg. All you have to do is just ask Barcelona. It happened to Barcelona. I've seen it. Real Madrid game as well. Real Madrid won the first leg by 3 goals, and then the second leg they lost by 3 goals against Juventus, and last minute goal saved them. So all I'm trying to say is don't take that lead for granted. It is a lead. I understand it's a lead, but don't take it for granted that just because we have a 3-goal lead, we could just put an entire B team and expect to advance. That's not going to happen. In Europe, you really gotta be careful. So I do think that most of our teams should be our starting 11 teams. But yeah, people, yeah, that is it. That is it. So like I said, don't forget to drop your comments and on the lineup and what you think is going to happen in the game as well, score prediction as well. Do let me know in the comment section. But make sure you join us for the watch along as well. I'm going to be doing the watch along for this game on Thursday, so be sure to join us for that. But thank you again. Thank you all for watching. Yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. I am out. Peace.